We need to keep that silent final E on the word 9, otherwise it would be pronounced ninety. 90. Please write the word slippery next. Oh, and now the recording has actually started. Everyone, say happy birthday, Shatish.
Happy birthday, Satish.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Satish. Happy birthday, Satish. Happy birthday, Satish. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Satish. Happy birthday, Satish. Happy birthday, Satish.
Hope you're enjoying your day. We're doing a little bit of spelling review. We're currently writing the word slippery. So Shatij, as you're watching, write the word slippery. Eyes down on your boards as you write it, and then hold it up. If you can't remember how to write slippery, try your best. Don't look up at a friend's paper or board. Rihanna, I can't see you. Hope that you're there and writing your word. Okay, it looks like quite a few people forgot to double the P. Make sure you double the P so that it keeps the vowel short in the first syllable. Slippery, slippery. So if you forgot to double that P, please change it now. Rewrite it correctly if you just had one P. Slippery. Next is sneeze. Please write sneeze. What makes the E sound in this word? E-double-E always says E, that's right. We use E-double-E, always says E. Ooh. Rihanna, Saisanov, I should see eyes on your board, and then when you're done writing, hold it up. Don't look at your classmates' screens, please. Try it out on your own. Sneeze should look like this. Saisanov and Rihanna, show me your boards. Adarsh, let me see sneeze. Arima, let me see your board, please. Nice. There's no shame in getting it wrong in this practice. So please try your best, hold it up, and if you've got mistakes, we'll correct it. But it's so important for you to be thinking it through on your own, not copying from what you see somebody else writing. Next word is stationary. This word is a homophone. We've got two types of stationary. Which one is stationary, like cards and notepads? Kind of girly a lot of times. Think of a girly, flowery stationery set. So what are we going to use for stationary in that one? Earthier of her. Do you remember this? We use earthier of her. We think of it as stationery for like a flowery pink stationery set. Picture that. Kind of girly. Not all stationery sets are girly, but that is, I think, the best way to remember which one's which. Using earthier of her. Saisanov, I should see you writing and then holding it up. Drishya, I should see you writing, then holding it up, not just looking at the computer. Okay. And as you all know, we're going to do the other stationery next, but I want to see just stationery like cards and notepads. Don't write the other one because that's not showing me that you're actually writing the correct one. I want to see notepads and cards, that type of stationery. Show me which one that is. Arjun, waiting for you. Arima, Adarsh, waiting for you. Drishya, Rashi. Show me yours, please. Hold it a little closer, Rashi. Good. Excellent. Okay. Now, the other type of stationery, picture a pirate on a ship staying very still. This type of stationery means frozen stationery. Think of a frozen pirate on a ship. He's staying so still. He's staying very stationary. So we're going to use R the pirate phonogram. Stationary. Stationary. Okay. That is all for spelling review. Please put your whiteboard and marker away and take out your binder. We're going to have our quiz on Thursday this week instead of Friday because Friday is the last day before Thanksgiving break. So we're going to do a little Thanksgiving spelling lesson just for fun this week. Kind of like for Classical Day, having some classical Roman activities. We've got some Thanksgiving activities on that day, including a little break from usual, a little Thanksgiving spelling lesson. Okay, so I want you to get your binders out for our spelling lesson today. Four words for today's lesson. Our first word today is expense. Would you say expense? An expense is something that costs you. So your parents have different expenses. They have to think about paying for their house or apartment, their car, going to the doctor, your clothes and food. So an expense is something that costs you money. It's going to be the base word of expensive, which you hear probably a lot more often at your age. Expensive, which means costing a lot of money. An expense doesn't necessarily mean it costs much money. It's just something that you have to pay for, an expense. Please sound out the word expense. Expense, 2 syllables. Let's try that again. Come on, Drishya. Expense, 2 syllables. The first syllable is basic code, X. Second syllable, what sounds do you hear? H, N, S, 4 sounds. Now we're going to have a silent final E, job 5, the S rule. We don't want it to look like it's plural, so add a silent final E to the end. Please pick up your pencil and write expense. Thumbs up if you're finished. Brianna, did you write it? I don't think that's very good for your eyes to be that close to the computer. Could you back up a little bit so that your eyes are not staring at the computer screen? Okay. Expense. X, syllable break. Huh. Silent final E. Who spelled it correctly? Great job. Expense. Okay. First syllable's basic code. Expense. How are we going to mark this? How do we mark it? Show me with your arms. Brianna, Arjun, how are we going to mark this? Drisha, Sai, how do we mark it? Silent final E, job 5, the S rule, because without it, it might look like a lot of expends. The plural expends, which is not what it's saying at all. Okay, this is a noun. Now, let's turn it into an adjective. We're going to now write the word expensive. Expensive. For expensive, we drop that silent final E and add iv to the second syllable. And can we have an English word ending with V? Nope. So we're going to have another silent final E at the end of that third syllable. So expense, drop that silent final E, iv. Please write expensive. Okay, who's done? So expensive, X, syllable break, P, syllable break, dropping that silent final E, iv, silent final E. Now it's there for the V. Good job. I like the little money move that Adarsha's making for his happy dance. Expensive, lots of money. Takes lots of money. Okay, let's mark it. Expense, basic code. Iv. V is the reason for the silent final E, job 2. What part of speech is this? It modifies a noun or a pronoun. What modifies a noun or a pronoun? An adjective is a part of speech used to describe or define the meaning of a noun or a pronoun. It answers which questions? How many? Whose? Which one? Or what kind? It modifies a noun or a pronoun, which is what we're going to talk about next in well-ordered language. Okay, next word is respond. When you say respond, respond. Like, please respond to the question on page 5. Or, did you respond to the letter from your grandmother? Means to sometimes reply back or to fill in something. Respond. Fingers under your chin to say respond. Respond. 2 syllables. The first syllable has E saying its name in an open syllable. Say re. Re. Also a prefix, which means to do it again, or like to say it back. So to respond means somebody's given you something, you're going to like reply back or give something back. The second syllable is basic code. Spond. Please pick up your pencil and write respond. E says its name in an open syllable. Re. Second syllable. Spond. Basic code. Thumbs up when you're finished, please. Who's done writing the word? Rihanna, I'm not sure what's distracting you, but step away from the computer for a minute. Move back a little bit. Now, thumbs up if you're done writing the word. Thank you for responding. There's our word in action. Okay, respond. E syllable break. Respond. Who got it right? Who got it right? Respond. Okay, show me what markings we need in this first syllable. E. Good job, Nethra. Good job, Adarsh. Great job, Rihanna and Rashi. Great job, Arima, Saisanov, Sai. E says its name in an open syllable. Respond. Second syllable. Basic code. Look at that, how easy. That was too easy. Now, who can tell me what part of speech is this? If I said, did you respond to the letter from your grandmother? What is happening there? What is respond acting like? Saisanov?
Verb.
It's a verb. It's an action. You got it. Okay, we're going to keep here because the next word goes along with respond. Response. Response is very good, Arima. You can already tell it's a noun. It is turning this verb into a noun by saying it's the actual thing that you're replying. Now, this is going to basically be a combination of respond and expense. Because we're going to take that d away and replace it with s. And silent finally, job 5. Yes, Sai?
After response, will we do responsible?
Oh, excellent question. We are not going to do it today, but that's a word for tomorrow because it does come from the same word. So we're going to do it tomorrow. Okay, for response. Response. Change that d to z and add a silent finally, job 5, just like expense. Pick up your pencil and write it, please. Who's done with response? Okay. E syllable break. S, p, n, s. Silent finally. Job number 5. Response. How do we mark this syllable? Show me with your arms. How are we going to mark it? You got it, Arima. You got it, Nethra. Arjun and Sai. E says its name in an open syllable. Over here to our second syllable. And what is the reason for the silent final E? Come on, Adarsh, come back to your spot, please. It's a job 5. Otherwise, it kind of looks like responds. Like lots of responds, which is not a thing. That's not a noun. But it sort of looks like that. So response. The S is the reason for the silent final E. Yes, I. Do you know the part of speech?
After responsible, I think it's going to be responsibility.
Oh my goodness, you are doing a great job with thinking of the derivatives. Yeah, we actually are not going to learn responsibility, but that would be an extra one that would go along very well with these. So responsible is describing a noun or pronoun, so it's an adjective. Responsibility is another noun that means what you're responsible for. Do any of you have some responsibilities at home? Those are maybe some chores you have to help out with or things you're in charge of, like certain things to clean up, or if you have a pet to take care of, maybe that's your responsibility. Brianna, do you have a responsibility to share?
Making sure all the lights are closed.
Oh, good, yeah. Turning off lights when you're not in a room. Nethra?
Practicing my music.
Excellent. Yes, having music practice like piano or violin or singing, that is a great responsibility. Rashi, would you like to share yours?
Putting all my clothes in my closet.
Excellent. That is so good for you all to learn that and not just have your parents do it for you, to learn that responsibility for yourself. Tarshika?
I do that too.
Good.
Whenever I take care of my sister, whenever my mom and dad is working.
I can tell you do a great job of taking care of her. And that's a big responsibility to take care of a younger sibling. Saisanov?
Helping my dad get the clothes out of the washer to dryer.
Nice. Yeah, doing some help with the laundry. Let's hear from finally Arjun and Drisha. What are some responsibilities you have?
I have to fold the clothes and put them in my closet.
Excellent. So responsible for all of your own
And
clothes.
I help my dad with the groceries to take back from the car.
That's great.
Can I
Drisha?
What my responsibilities are is because I do the washing, I do the washing. I put them in the dryer and the machine, and I also take care of my sister.
Excellent. Those are big responsibilities for you. What a big help I'm sure all of you are to your parents. And those are all skills that are just helping you to become better adults one day, to already learn how to do laundry, to fold and keep everything tidy at home, to help get groceries in. Those are great skills for you all to continue. Okay, let's go over a dictated sentence now. Our dictated sentence is one that actually we're going to be able to analyze. So give me a moment. I'm going to change it up slightly from my 831. Let's see. For our sentence, we'll say, he bought an expensive present. He bought an expensive present. What's the sentence? He bought an expensive present. Please write that sentence. And this is actually one that we'll be able to analyze as well. So you can try to analyze it on your own as soon as you're done, and then you can move on to creating a sentence of your own using some words from the lesson. Krish, did you want to share a responsibility? I think I saw your hand go up late.
My responsibilities are like whenever my mom's sick, I have to take care of the kitchen, like clean the whole home, and then fold the dresses and keep where they go, and take care of my sister.
Oh, that's so nice, Krish. Are you the oldest, right?
And also, what's the sentence again?
He bought an expensive
Yeah,
present.
my sister is 3. I'm turning 9.
So that is going to continue being a big responsibility probably for a long time, that you'll be the main one to take care of your little sister, and if your parents are sick, helping out with things at the home.
There is a pronoun in this sentence.
That's right. There is a pronoun. Good call, Saisanab. So we'll go over how to analyze that. Let me know when you're finished, boys and girls. This is a pretty short one, so it shouldn't take too long to write. Oh, and unfortunately, we've got a lot of cameras that are not working on my end. Oh, now it's getting better. Okay. Okay. Let's write, he bought an expensive present. So we can actually analyze this whole sentence. And just like Saisanov said, there is a pronoun, and we're going to talk about this when we open up our well-ordered language workbook, but we talked about this already a little on Friday. We don't analyze pronouns any differently than we do just nouns acting as subjects. So if there is a pronoun that's the subject of the sentence, we're still just going to we're going to underline it and mark it with an S for subject. Does anybody feel like they know what each of the parts of speech are for the words in this sentence? Who would like to analyze it for us? Who would like to analyze? He bought an expensive present. Let's give Arjun a shot at this. You're still muted, Arjun.
Oh, sorry. He's the pronoun, so
Excellent.
he's the subject.
Very good. It is a pronoun
And then,
acting as a subject.
so bought is the predicate verb. Present is the direct present is the direct object.
Correct.
What kind of present is an expensive present? So it modifies present and it's an adjective.
Good.
And an is an adjective.
Excellent. It's one of the article adjectives.
A and an and B are article adjectives, and no and not are article adverbs.
Are adverbs. Excellent, Arjun. Yeah, all of those are ones that hopefully you can memorize so that you're still quick. You don't even have to think about it. You just see it and you know and is an adjective. Not is an adverb. Very good. And hopefully this pronouns will be just as quick for you pretty soon. So he is the subject of the sentence. It's also a pronoun, but all we do is underline and put an S on top like we would any other subject. Who would like to share a sentence that they created with some words from the sentence? Does anybody take time to create one? Nethra, I'd love to hear yours.
I bought an expensive watch. A man told me it was expense. I responded, it was expensive for me.
Nice. So it was an expense, and you also included expensive. Very good. Would anybody else like to share the sentence that they created? Some of your screens are not working. Oh, now I'm seeing them better. Adarsh, I'd love to hear yours.
I have so many responsibilities when I wake up, like watching TV.
What? That's not a responsibility, Adarsh. Oh, goodness.
Oh, it's kind of a responsibility, like watching like a show or something.
I would not call it a responsibility because you don't have to do it. I think your mom's coming in to say, that's not true.
Can I share my sentence?
Yes, I'd love to hear your sentence, Devansh.
The expensive Lamborghini responded to me, and I was shocked that it could talk.
Oh, I love that. He responded to you. That is quite surprising for a Lamborghini to respond. Okay, let's hear Sai's sentence.
I bought an expensive Lamborghini, but it was my responsibility to drive it.
Nice, I like it. Okay, well, let's take out our well-ordered language workbook. We have learned about some pronouns, and we're going to review our songs today and talk about how to choose correct pronouns in a sentence. Okay, we're going to look on page 160. It'd also be a good time right now, since we've been in class for almost an hour. So that's right, Rashi. Stretch for a little bit. Take your eyes off the computer screen. Give your eyes a break. As we're getting out our workbooks, just give your eyes a little break. Okay, who remembers the subject pronouns? I. Do you remember the next ones? I, you. Who'd like to try all 8 just from memory? Darshika, I'd love for you to do it, and then we'll play the song.
I, you, she, he, it, you, they.
So close, you just forgot one. What did you forget? Does anybody know what she forgot? I, you, he, she, it.
They.
We, you, they. So close, Darshika. You got 7 of them, though. Okay, let's sing that jingle and also the pronoun jingle. We've got 3 new jingles in this unit.
What page?
The first one is page 160. The first one just tells us what a pronoun is. A pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. A pronoun is, big finish, a part of speech. Okay, so what is a pronoun? Who can tell me what a pronoun is with those words from the song? Tricia? A pronoun is
A part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. Part of speech that is in noun or nouns.
That's exactly right. It's used in place of a noun or nouns, singular or plural. Okay, now let's sing our subject pronoun jingle, where we are going to list out all the subject pronouns. And I want every single one of you to get used to saying the pronouns in this exact order, not just whichever ones that come to mind, but this exact order, okay? So let's sing the subject pronoun jingle. This one's a little slower. Boom, 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 boom. Subject pronouns are in the nominative case. Here, we're going to list all 8. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Subject pronouns are in the nominative case. What are they, all 8? I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Who knows all 8? What are all 8 of the subject pronouns? Saisanov, what are they?
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they.
Give him a hand. Perfect, Saisanov. I'd love for Ahana to say them next. What are all 8 subject pronouns? Left the meeting. Ahana. Nethra, could you say all 8 subject pronouns for us?
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they.
Nice. Devansh, let's hear it from you.
He, she, it, we, you, they, I.
Almost. Very good. But can you start with I, you? Say it with me, Devansh. I, you.
He, she, it, we, you, they.
You got it. Great job, Devansh. Great job, Nethra. Krish, would you try it out for us now? Come on, Krish. Adarsh, keep that camera on, bud.
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they.
Nice job, Krish. Okay, let's think from one more. Arima, would you tell us all 8 subject pronouns?
I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they.
Excellent. You guys have memorized the 8 pronouns already, 8 subject pronouns. Okay, today, oh, I forgot, we've got one more jingle, the antecedent jingle, which is actually the most relevant to what we're about to do. So would you all sing the antecedent song with me? This is on page 161, top of the next page. I like this one. The antecedent is a noun, clause, or phrase to which a pronoun refers. If the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun is singular too. But if the noun, clause, or phrase is plural, then the pronoun must be plural too. The antecedent determines which pronoun is used. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so what is an antecedent? The antecedent is what is it? Nethra, what is an antecedent? The antecedent is a
Noun, clause, or phrase to which the pronoun refers.
perfect. For example, if I said, Nethra loves to sing and dance. She entertains her whole family with her performances. She, in that sentence, is talking about Nethra. Nethra was the antecedent. She's the noun, clause, or phrase to which the pronoun was referring. Nethra loves to sing and dance. She entertains everyone with her performances. She is referring to Nethra. Okay, let's take a look at that today. We are going to have our books open to page 163 for this activity. Turn to page 163, please. Okay. Would somebody please read the instructions at the top that say pronouns have antecedents?
Ghana, I can't see your camera.
Yes, sweetheart, just a moment. I'm trying to get it up. Saisanov, would you read the instructions for us that start with pronouns have antecedents?
Yes. Pronouns have antecedents. Remember that if the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun is singular too. But if the noun is plural, then the pronoun must be plural too. The antecedent determines which pronoun is used.
Nice. Now, go ahead. You can read the next part as well.
In the following sentence, write the blanks provided in correct pronoun that goes with the underlined antecedent.
Nice. Okay. So, in the example sentence, it says Lucy grabbed the basket for the books. She was ready to go. She is a pronoun that can take the place of Lucy. Singular subject, and it's not talking about yourself, so we're not going to use I. We're not talking about directly another person, so we don't use you. We would use she. What would be the right pronoun to replace children with in this sentence? The children went to the library. Blank usually get books on Saturday mornings. So would we replace it with I, you, he, she, it, we, you, or they? It's one of those 8. Rihanna?
They.
Correct. It's plural. Children is more than one. We replace it with they. Adarsh? In sentence 2, it says Winston wandered over to the sports section. That's a boy's name. Blank chose many books about baseball. What's a good pronoun to replace Winston with? What pronoun?
Winston.
Good. Winston is the antecedent. What pronoun could we replace him with? Would we use I, you, he, she, it, we, you, or they?
He.
Excellent. Can you read the sentence with he in the blank and see if that makes sense?
He chose many books about basketball.
About baseball. Yeah, that sounds right. Now, Heidi is a girl's name. Heidi walked to the animal section. Blank selected 6 books about dolphins. Ahna, what would be the pronoun to replace Heidi with?
So Heidi walked to the animal section. She selected 6 books about dolphins.
Perfect. We replace Heidi with she. Singular, female subject. Next, Devanj, could you tell us what pronoun could replace mom and I? So it's more than one. Excellent. We is the word we used for myself plus somebody else. Krish, what about number 5? Lucy and Fritz.
Number 5, it says, then a rocking chair fell. What?
Go ahead.
What? Then a rocking chair fell over, Blake knocked over. Then a rocking chair fell over. It knocked over the book rack.
Excellent. That was actually number 6, but that's correct. It would replace chair. Finally, Rashi, could you do number 5? What would replace Lucy and Fritz?
Lucy and Fritz sat in the rocking chairs. They read picture books together.
Perfect. They is the plural pronoun we would replace it with. Okay. Now, let's flip back over to page 161, going back. And I want to review how we're going to analyze sentences that have pronouns. We actually are going to analyze them, if it's the subject, the same as we would any other subject. Can I have a volunteer read through the words to say when we analyze this sentence that has the subject he? Rihanna, would you like to do that for us?
This is a sentence and it is declarative. The sentence is about he. He is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that he was making. So making is the predicate because it is what the sentence tells us about he. It is a predicate verb because it shows action. There's no linking verb because predicate verbs do not need linking verbs. What is the helping verb? Because it helps a verb. Trips tells us what he is making. So trips is an objective element because it completes the meaning of an action. It is a direct object because it tells what he was making.
Very nice. So the only thing that's different is that we're actually going to shorten that old part where it said, this is a sentence because it is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It is a declarative sentence because it makes a statement. We're going to shorten that to just, this is a sentence and it is declarative. Or if it was an interrogative sentence, we would say, this is a sentence and it is interrogative. So that's the only change, to actually make it a little shorter. That section on it being a sentence. Okay, let's put it into practice on page 164. Please turn there now. 164. We've got some sentences here. Let's go over how we would analyze this sentence. I did this for my 8:30 class, so I'll just walk through the words to say, and then I'll have a volunteer do it for sentence 2. They slowly opened the wooden door. This is a sentence and it is declarative. Would you try that part with me? This is a sentence and it is declarative. Again, this is a sentence and it is declarative. This sentence is about they. So they is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that they opened. So opened is a predicate because it's what the sentence tells us about they. It is a predicate verb because it shows action. There is no linking verb because predicate verbs do not need linking verbs. Skipping over to our direct object. Door tells us what they opened. It is an objective element because it completes the meaning of an action verb. It is a direct object because it tells us what they opened. Slowly tells us how they opened. It is an adverbial element because it modifies a verb. It is an adverb. The tells us which door. It is an adjective element because it modifies a noun. It is an adjective. Wooden tells us what kind of door. It is an adjective element because it modifies a noun. It is an adjective. Make sure that you are drawing your arrows for adjectives and adverbs. I've seen more so with my 8:30 class, but some people have been writing just the label on top. Make sure you have your arrow pointing to the correct word that it's modifying. Who would like to try this out for sentence 2? And you can just go in the order of these words. It doesn't have to be the exact words, but tell us subject, predicate verb, direct object, and modifiers. I'd love for Sai to do this one for us. The sentence, quickly he crossed the dusty floor.
He is the subject. Crossed is the predicate verb. Floor is the direct object. The and dusty is the adjective. Quickly is the adverb.
Excellent. Make sure yours matches mine. We'll go over more of the words to say in our choral response, since I know we don't do that every day. That direct object response, let's say this together. Floor tells us what he crossed. Could you say that? Floor tells us what he crossed. It is an objective element because it completes the meaning of an action verb. It is a direct object because it tells us what he crossed. Okay, for your assignment that you'll do after class today, you've got pages 165. All of these have pronouns as your subject. For the what is a pronoun question, think a pronoun. Oh, I'm trying to think of the tune. A pronoun is a part of speech used in place of a noun or nouns. So that's what you'll be filling in there. That jingle. Over here is where you'll have your list of subject pronouns. Page 166. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. He, she, and it are all singular. They're the only one that changes depending on if it's a boy, a girl, or just an object. So that's why they all go together on this line. Everything else gets a separate line, but he, she, and it go together. Okay? You can also double check your answers on page 159 when you're done to make sure you've got your chart filled out correctly. That's all for well-ordered language at this time. Take out your orthography notebooks. We're going to write words from today's lesson, and then we'll do a little roots. Should be on page 47 of your notebook. And before we start that, let's do our poem together. Would anybody like to say the first Thanksgiving of all as we take out our orthography notebooks? Let's have Krish say it for us.
Okay. The First Thanksgiving of All by Nancy Bird Turner. Peace and mercy and Jonathan, patience very small, stood by the table giving thanks is the first Thanksgiving of all. Though little for them to eat, nothing special or nothing sweet. A little bread with broth, a bit of fruit, but no tablecloth. Peace and mercy, Jonathan, patients in a row stood up and asked blessing on the first Thanksgiving long ago.
Got it.
Thankful they were the ship had come safely across the sea. Thankful they were for hurt and home and kin and company. But and then glad that
Broth.
glad their had brought with bread. Glad their apples were round and red. Glad their mayflowers that they bring out the woods again next spring. So peace and mercy and Jonathan, patience very small, stood up on giving thanks the first Thanksgiving of all. The first Thanksgiving of all by Nancy Bird Turner.
Great job, Krish. You've got that almost completely memorized, almost 100%. We're going to do our recitations Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, leading up to Thanksgiving break, where you'll have a whole week off. Okay, let's write our words in orthography. Your first word was expense. Please write expense. Expense. Thumbs up once you're done with that one and ready to move on. Next is expensive. Expensive.
Miss Gardner,
Yes, Isana?
is there anything for science and math? Because I don't even see anything.
There are assignments for science and math on the to-do list. I'll double check though. But I want you to stay focused on the spelling words right now, okay?
Yeah.
Expensive is word 2. Word 3 is respond. Respond. And word 4 is response. I'll share my screen so that you can check your words. Okay, check that yours match mine, and then we're going to sort in a couple of spots. So let's turn to page 24 first. That is where we have some nouns. We had 2 nouns in the lesson today. And they both have a similar ending. Expense response. That is a common ending. It's not exactly a suffix, but it's a common spelling pattern for the end of a noun. Expense and response are on page 24. And one more spot that we'll sort our words in is page 28. It's where we have adjectives. We're going to add the adjective from today's lesson, expensive. So please add that to the bottom, expensive. Page 28, adjectives. Okay, that's all for orthography today. We are now going to take a look at some new roots. Now, we learned two words for the last couple of weeks that both mean sound. The Latin word sonus and the Greek word phone both mean sound. This week and after Thanksgiving, we're going to be looking at the words that mean see. So we go from sound to sight. And the Greek word that we're going to start with this week is scopio. Could you say scopio? So scopio is a Greek word that means to see, look, consider, or examine. Now, it probably doesn't look like a specific word that you can think of, but does scope sound like anything you can think of that has to do with sight? Rashi, do you have an idea?
See, like,
So if we change the K to a C, scope, can you think of some words that have that in it? I'll get back to you in a minute. Sai, tell us a scope word.
Telescope.
Telescope, very good. Which means to see things that are far away. Like we already learned, tela means far away or distant. Arima, could you tell us another?
Microscope.
Microscope, nice, because micro means small. So it's to look at things that are small. Arjun, did you have one too?
That was the what Arima said was the one that I had.
Oh, okay. How about something that helps you to see from out of the water? If you're in water, like in a submarine, and you need to see out, do you know what that is? Saisanov?
I don't know what it's called, but I have a microscope.
You have a microscope. Cool. We're going to be looking at that Tuesday or Wednesday, so maybe you could bring it to class on Tuesday or Wednesday for us to see. So a periscope is what I was talking about that helps you to see out of water. Have any of you heard of that before? I'll present my screen to show you. This is, actually, I'll do that tomorrow. We're going to get to that tomorrow. Now, scopio is the Greek word meaning see, look, consider, or examine. So mainly it's talking about looking, seeing and looking. But it can also have to do with kind of seeing something and thinking about it, taking it in, processing it. Now, the word scopio is where we get the English word scope. We change the K to a C when it gets to English. And not only is this part of telescope, periscope, microscope, all of those, it also is a word on its own that means all that the eye can see. All that the eye can see.
Wait, what word?
Scope. And I've put it in the chat as well. So the scope, your personal scope, the things that you're able to see, are all of the things straight in front of you and a little bit to the side of you, right? I'm going to take off this camera, but it's in the chat if you needed more of that, all that the eye can see. So the scope of your eyes is what is straight in front of you for quite a distance, right? You can't see a mile away, but you can see quite a ways away. Straight in front of you and a little bit to the sides, right? With your eyes, you're able to see what's called peripheral vision, a little bit on the side of you. But is what is directly behind you part of your scope? No, we cannot see that. So that's not part of our personal scope. Our scope includes what is directly in front of us and a little to the sides. Now, scope is also a word that you'll hear about with cameras, for example. So with not like a phone camera so much, it technically does work for that though. But have any of you used or seen a camera that has a little part where you put your eye against it so that you can see what the picture will be? That's called a scope. When you put your eye right up against it and it shows you exactly what the picture is going to be. Can you try putting a little circle around your eye like this? And that gives you a different scope. You're not able to see everything like before. It's just in that little circle. So that's kind of like what is on this a camera. You've got this scope, which shows you what is going to be in a picture if you were to take it. Also, with guns, I don't know if any of you have been hunting before or maybe have a Nerf gun at home. A Nerf gun might also have like a little scope. And it's something that can pop up. Oh my goodness, Arima has it very handy. I mean, Adarsh pulled it out just now. So some, not all, but some Nerf guns might have a little part that pops up and you're able to put your eye up against it so that you can aim. Oh, yes, perfect. Take a look at size. Side, that black part at the top is the scope. And Krish, that's a scope as well. Very nice. So that allows you to take better aim. You look through it and you're able to more directly see what you're aiming at. That's right. So that's a scope on a gun. And some of those Nerf guns, those are much fancier than the ones I had when I was your age. But they've gotten fancier to the point of having things that look kind of like a real gun with the scope so that you're able to aim better. Yes, Devansh?
When you put the circle in your the binoculars, it looks like those blinders that are on horses, the things that don't look on the other side.
Good connection. Yeah, so like in Black Beauty, blinkers or blinders are what they're called for the horses that actually stop them from seeing their full scope. So that's actually really bad for horses to not be able to get their full scope. You know how we've heard about that with Black Beauty, that it's better for them to have no blinders.
Because of the story that they told us that the horses drowned.
Yeah, that's right. They would have seen that they were close to the side of I think it was a river, but with those blinders on, they couldn't see to the side of them. And horses have been created just like all other animals and parts of creation with very specific purposes. So every part of a horse is there naturally for a reason. So it needs to have their full eyesight, just like that's what we all need. We have been created to have full eyesight for a reason.
They said that
it's not good to change nature. That's a wonderful connection. Thank you so much for saying that, Devansh. Okay, it is time for math. We're going to continue learning more Greek words to go along with Scopio next. But today, we are going to take a look at what I think is the most fun times tables, the nines. We are going to look at multiplying by nines, all of the 9 facts. This one, as I'm sure a lot of you have seen before, has really interesting patterns across all of the numbers. Some of you maybe already know some good tools and tricks for memorizing your nines. This is one that has really interesting patterns. All of the times tables have some sort of pattern, but this one has lots of ones that you can take a look at. So open up your math notebook, please. And we are going to create a times tables for the nines and go over some of these patterns. Let's begin with the heading at the top of your page.
Urgent. 11, 16, 20, 20, 11, 16. Sorry.
Miss Gardner, I can't see your work.
This is lesson 6.5. Looks like Rihanna is ready. Excellent. Tricia, very good. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the nines today. Nines, just like all of the others, we're going to begin by writing out our times table. So 0 through 12, please write all the way down your page. Zero to 12, and multiply each of those by 9. Multiply each one by 9. Now, if you have been following along in the same order in class where you've memorized up to your 8s, there's only a few left that you'll actually need to memorize from these 9s. Because if you've learned your 6s, you already know 6 times 9. 7s, then you know 7 times 9, 8, so forth. So 9 times 9 is a new one that we have not gone over yet. 10 times 9 and 11 times 9 have tricks to make those especially quick. 12 times 9 might be one that you need to focus on a little bit as well, though. So that just leaves 2 whole problems. That's it. That you may need to really work on. We're going to fill these in. You can go ahead and fill this in, and I'm going to play a little song similar to the ones we were doing last week, all about the pattern of skip counting by 9s, so you can fill it in as we go along with the song. And then we're going to go over some patterns.
Miss Gardner?
Yes, Arima?
Can I say like a trick I know for the 9s?
I'd love for you to share that. Yes, as soon as it's time to go over patterns.
Yeah. So you add 110 and subtract
Oh, okay. Just a minute, Arima. We're going to go over all those patterns after everyone fills it in. Fill it in as you go. We're going to start with 9.
18,
27, 36, 45,
54, 63,
72, 81,
18,
27, 36, 45, 54,
63,
72, 81, 9.
18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90, 18,
27, 36, 45, 54, 72, 81, 90. Okay, and it just continues from there, but pretty catchy. Let's say them together. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. Catchy little song, although there are lots of other great ways of knowing our nines. So thumbs up if you filled in your chart so far, your times table chart. Okay, now using our 11 strategy of doubling the digit, what's the answer to 11 times 9? Rashi, what's 11 times 9 equal to?
99.
99, we just double that 9. And for 12 times 9, we can add 9 to this, or think of it as 10 times 9 plus 2 times 9. What's the answer, Arjun?
108.
Perfect, 108. Now we filled in our chart completely. Let's go over some great patterns and strategies for solving the nines. Who's ready? I know some of you probably have ones you've learned before. We'll get a chance to go over some of them. I also want you to take out some colored pencils or crayons or colored pens. For example, I've got a red and a green here, and I don't have a blue pencil, so I've got a blue pen, because we are going to underline place value to really see the patterns across these times tables. So please get out some colored pencils or crayons. Highlighters might work if it's super thin. We're not highlighting the whole number, just underlining it with different colors. Okay, now Arima, I'll have you start with one of the patterns or tricks that you know for the nines.
Okay, so you add 110 but subtract a 1.
Add a 10 but subtract a 1. Could you explain that to us a little more?
Like, for example, you have 9, you just add 110, so 0 plus 1 is 1, and 9 minus 1 is 8. So the next one would be 18, because you're adding 110 but subtracting a 1.
Excellent strategy. So he's saying as you skip count, just think of it as 9 plus 10 is 19, minus 1 is 18. 18 plus 10 is 28, minus 1 is 27. Excellent. I love that strategy for skip counting. Now for actually there's a couple of patterns we're going to notice next. I want you to underline the tens place with one color. For me, it's going to be red. And I'm even going to do the tens place for this one, even though it's a 0. There's nothing in the tens place, but I'm going to even do that. Underline all of the tens places of your answers with the same color. And what do you notice is happening there? What is happening across the tens places in all of your answers, Darshika?
It's going by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Correct. It's going up by 1 in the tens place. Stopping at 10 times 9. That's where the pattern ends.
I know this trick.
Okay, now let's take a look at the ones place. Underline it with a different color and notice what is happening there. What is happening in the ones place? Adarsh, can you see what's happening? Adarsh, what's happening in the ones place, the green on my page? Look, 1 times 9 is 9. 2 times 9 is 18. That's 8 in the ones place. 3 times 9, 27. Look down at that ones place. What's happening?
So there's no like tens place?
The tens place is the red. Like 18, 1 is in the tens place for 18. There's an 8 in the ones place. You see that?
Yeah.
So what's happening in the tens place all the way down? It goes from, or sorry, the ones place all the way down. There's a 9, then 8, then 7.
Oh, so it's like, like it's like, so
That
now it's
pattern.
like going down.
Correct. It's going down by 1. So it's the opposite of the tens. In the tens place, it goes from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the ones place, it goes from 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Another thing that's really cool about these 9s is that when you add the 2 digits of the product, what do you get? If you add those 2 digits, Sai?
I don't, whenever you add, you get
This would be 0 plus 9 equals
0 plus 9 equals 9.
1 plus 8 equals 1 and 8 are in 18. 1 plus 8 equals,
1 plus 8 equals 9.
what about 2 plus 7?
2 plus 7 equals 9.
What? What about 3 plus 6?
9.
What about 4 plus 5?
9.
5 plus 4?
9.
6 plus 3?
9.
What about 7 plus 2?
9.
What about 8 plus 1? It's got to be different, right?
Mhm.
9 again. What about 9 plus 0?
9.
Oh my goodness.
I know another.
If you add the tens digit and the ones digit every time, it equals 9. Oh my goodness. So I think this is one of the most helpful parts of it. Now take a look also at the number that you're multiplying by. In this case, it's 1 times 9. Well, it's 1 less in the tens place, so 0. 0 plus what equals 9? 9. So if you're doing 5 times 9, for example, what's 1 less than 5? 4. 4 plus what equals 9? 5. Every single time you're going to go one less in the tens place and then add a number to equal 9. Underline all of these numbers and you'll see the same pattern. From 1 to 10, it's going to be one less in the tens place.
I know a strategy.
Look at that. Okay, Sai, what's the other strategy you know?
The other one is you can do 1 times 9 equals 9, and 2 times 9 equals 18. I'm trying to say 10 times 1 equals 10, but if you minus 1, it will do that. You keep on going.
Yes, so kind of like what Arima was saying before, that it's each time you would add 10, but then subtract 1 as you're skip counting. So it's always going to be add 10, take away 1. 9 away each time. Okay, one other strategy that we're going to get to tomorrow is the finger trick. How many of you have learned the finger trick for knowing your 9s? Ahna and Saisanov. Okay, I'm going to leave it as a mystery for the rest of you, but there is one more very quick. Ooh. Dark, are you okay?
His brother scared him, I think.
I see that. So I'm going to leave you in suspense. We'll do the finger trick tomorrow. This is, I think, the easiest one, even though it's involving some of the highest answers of all of the times tables. So I hope that one of these strategies is going to work really well for you. We're going to do one more strategy tomorrow as well. Saisanov, did you have an extra one to share?
Yes, also I have another trick like to get 18.
Go ahead.
Like in 12 times 9 is equals 108, right? So we'll get that 8, and that is 8, and then plus the plus 10, and then that equals 18.
Oh, great point.
I'll also get another one. Like you can take those 8 and then take out that 0, and then 1 plus 8 equals 9.
Yeah, and 1 plus 0 plus 8 also equals 9. So it still works for this one. Look at that. Okay, so we'll talk more strategies. This is a great one with so many cool patterns. But for your work that you'll do today after class, you're going to do pages 109 and 110, multiplying by 9s, using a lot of these same ones we've been doing. For example, 2 times 9 is 2 groups of 9. Make sure it's 2 groups, not 9 little groups of 2, but 2 groups of 9. In this array, make sure you shade in 7 times 9, going down 7 and across 9, and shade it all in. Some of you forgot to do that the last time. You just wrote an answer, but please show me what it looks like in this array. Fill in the missing numbers here. 3 9s is equal to 3 times 9. We've got some repeated addition up here. If you're adding 9 6 times, it's the same as 6 times 9. 6 groups of 9. Finally, down here at the bottom, using multiplication facts to help you, solve, for example, 9 times 4 by taking 10 groups of 4, 40, minus 1 group of 4, 4. So 40 minus 4, you'd write the answer here. So fill in all of those as well. That is what you'll do for math today, along with practicing your multiplication flashcards. A couple of other assignments that I want to go over with you. I'm going to present my screen now to show Bright Thinker. In science, you've got the energy pyramid and nitrogen cycle. I don't know how many of you have done this so far, but I go over a couple pages from the book. Nitrogen is in our air, and it's constantly in cycle, going from the air to the ground, whether it's through rain or sometimes actually lightning will transform it. You don't have to know all of the scientific terms for it. I do have an extra video down here which gets into some of the chemistry behind it. You don't need to know those terms, but that is a really good explanation of the whole nitrogen cycle. And this is an extra video explaining the energy pyramids, why it gets smaller and smaller at the top of an energy pyramid. We'll go over that more tomorrow once everybody's had a chance to do it. In history, you've got some work for roads, bridges, and aqueducts. So there is a video of me going through the pages in your book, plus some pictures that I hope will be helpful. The book, unfortunately, does not have any of these visuals for the layers of a road, but that was really unique that the Romans had all of these layers: sand, stone slabs, crushed stones, and then these stone blocks. These were so sturdy that they actually last better than roads do today. Some of them have lasted for thousands of years. Here's another picture of a slightly different setup of the layers of these Roman roads. Now this is a Roman bridge with arches supporting the top. How many of you
It
have?
looks like that today.
That's from today. That is a photograph. So I bet that people have fixed it up a little bit over time, but it's been around for probably about 2,000 years.
That's what they said in the video.
This video, this is an aqueduct, by the way, that actually carries water. This video of the Pont de Gard. Oh no. Okay, I guess you'll click the link and then get to watch it on YouTube. It shows
Nîmes was an important trading town with its own
this
council
Roman
building and
aqueduct that
even
is still around
the
today. All of this
all
is
cut the
footage
same.
that's very recent. So videos of exactly what you could see if you go to Rome in person today. These are better than most of the roads and bridges that we have today, even though we've got engineers and modern machinery and technology to make everything we have really great. The Romans did a lot of things actually better than civilization today. Some of that is that they just took their time and used good materials, whereas a lot of people today use cheap materials that are going to have to be replaced. Yes, Devansh?
For math, I didn't understand that strategy of the adding thing and you get 9 every time you add the number.
So if we have, for example, 2 times 9, which equals 18, well, the number 18 has a 1 and an 8. 1 plus 8 equals 9.
Oh.
3 times 9 is 27. 27 is a 2 plus a 7. 2 plus 7 equals 9.
Oh, okay.
They always add up to 9. It's so cool. Okay, so we'll talk more about the roads, bridges, and aqueducts tomorrow. This is a really cool unit, and I hope that you all enjoy seeing real footage and real pictures of what you would see if you go to Rome. A lot of these things were so well built. Okay, over here in literature, you've got a couple of chapters in Black Beauty. Make sure you watch both videos. And we're going to start doing something different. I know Arjun and several other people reached out saying the pictures on that reading comprehension passage were not showing up for you. So that is deleted. You're not going to have that in as a grade, that one from before, because I know it was not working for you. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use those as reading comprehension passages. Instead, from now on, we're going to read 3 times a week, shorter passages that are McCall Crab passages, exactly like what we would do if we were in school. So what you'll do over here is read a passage and then you'll click start and you can answer these questions. And there's a few tools here to hopefully make it easier as you're going back and forth between the passage and the questions. You can bookmark a question if you're not sure and maybe you want to go back, read it again. I think you have to click save and exit though, if you wanted to review.
Yeah.
So you'll have to click save and exit if you want to, for example, click something and then bookmark it and come back to it later. I think you're able to, but I've not played around with it very much yet. Another thing that you are able to do is highlight. That might be helpful to highlight certain parts. Actually, it looks like you can only do that for your answers, but you can use the highlight feature if you wanted to have, you know what, I'm sorry. I guess it is working, but I was hoping the highlighter would work for the passage, not for this part. You can use the answer eliminator, where if you know an answer is wrong, you can cross it out like this. And once again, that review feature so that you could bookmark a question if you want to click it and then go to save and exit and then go back to it. Okay, I'll play around with it a little bit more. I put some settings that I was hoping would make it helpful to go back and forth between reading it and answering the questions and then reading it again, but I may need to make a few more little changes. So that's what we're going to start doing from now on, 3 times a week, a little McCall Crab passage, and then just go over to the answers and choose the correct answer for all of the questions. If it doesn't let you go back and forth, just read through the passage carefully and then go over to the questions, answer them, and that's all. Okay, any questions about that? I know that's new. I'm going to start doing that 3 times a week once again.
One of the questions was pretty hard.
Okay.
I got
Yes,
it right though.
So, Miss Ghana, I just found out something after you talked about math. Like until the phi table, it's like 1, 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5, and it repeats like 5, 4, 6, 3, 7, 2, 8, 1.
You're
It's
exactly
the
right. That's
opposite.
another cool pattern. It flips. I know that's another cool pattern. Okay,
45
I'll
and
have
50.
my reading group stay with me now. Thank you. This has been, I know, longer than usual because there's quite a bit of new things to go over today. But I'll have just Adarsh and Ahna, no Shatish today, and Sai stay with me. Everybody else, talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Scrivener.
Bye.
Bye.